Hello, my name's Emily from the Crossing Board channel. You know, the one that's been doing those countdowns about KK Slider and the Owly music for the last few weeks. And I play a little bit of music, as I've been not so subtly hinting for the last few moments of the last few videos. So for the past few weeks, I've been trying to think of ways of how I can get music within the channel. You know, how I can get it to work, how I can get it to sound somewhat good. Just ways that I suppose I can do a cover of one of the songs within the game. But me being me, thought it was too easy for me to whip out my flute and do a most beautiful rendition of Stale Cupcakes. And instead set myself the challenge of creating one of the tracks within the game universe using whatever I could find around my house. So for the next couple of weeks, we're going to be exploring this and seeing what we managed to put together at the end. So I guess now I'll hand over to me. So, this is what we have instrument-wise. Logic would dictate using the flute, because I know I am good at the flute, and I know that I can get a good sound out of this. We can produce some interesting things. So this is going to be, I think that's going to be our key. My uke here, I'm not as confident. So I'm thinking we don't want something that's too guitar, you know, strummy heavy. We also do have a fife. I have a piccolo somewhere, but if we can't find it, this fife will do. And this will just produce some higher sounds than that. We also have a spare head joint, and this could be interesting. You can create some interesting sound effects. Yeah, so I think this could be interesting. This could potentially be interesting. We're gonna put that there. We've got this a la Harv's Island, so we can create some sounds with that and give us a bit of a kind of thing. So we're gonna put that there. So this is all well and good, but we're missing some stuff. But what we could do actually, we could always do a bit of like a used body in some ways, so kind of like a... What we could also do, if I can find it, is we could use an empty toilet roll holder and maybe create some kind of sound with that, like a didgeridoo. So I can't find an empty one, but we have a full one. But this gives the same kind of effect, but actually this might be better because it'll have more of an echo. So we can kind of get this kind of sound. Oh, this is so silly. Let's just see if this works. This is going to give us that pitch. So if I drink a little more, it's no different. I think we need a smaller cup. This one, this will work better. So initially, we're starting like this. So what we've discovered there is we don't have a lot of leeway. We need to be very precise. So if we can figure out what notes these are, we might be able to either play them all in succession or kind of blend them all together. Of course, this aside, also downstairs I have some bin bags. I've got, you know, other sounds that we can kind of crinkle and that kind of thing. I think that's going to be our best bet as kind of a bass instrument set. So the ukulele, our cups, our tambourine, our fife, our flute head, and our flute. Okay, here's our video from last week, only because I've got some of the tracks within it. I am considering 5 AM. I know, because if I think about it, this kind of whole serene sound to it, it would lend itself well to the instruments we've got. And that kind of, this sound here, that moment, that could be something that we could do with the cups and get that kind of, if I can, you know, when you dip your finger in it and you put your finger over the top of the cup and it gets that kind of whirring kind of sound, we could do that. There we go. Or alternatively, we do something like Stale Cupcakes. Also kind of lends itself to what we have there. And within that, we can get the flute in, we can get those kind of higher pitched instruments. We can get those instruments into it and we can create that kind of serene thing. My only thing is it obvious? Like, is it obvious to do Stale Cupcakes? Song decision aside, it was time to record some other little bits on the tambourine and other instruments and put it straight into GarageBand. So, we've got all our sounds into GarageBand. Some are interesting, some are interesting. I really like this sound. And that was our wine glass. So how can we... Maybe if we add... Yeah, it just needs something underneath it. And if we take the volume down, just that subtle sound continuing underneath it. Our drum beat isn't great. This one though, we could work with. No, it almost needs to be a bit softer. It needs to be more subtle, but that could have been my fault. So I might have another play around with that. That sound right there. Our tambourine gives us something interesting. Ooh, something like that. If we can get that to work, we can work with that. I had a piece together with some things, and I think we can work with it. Because then if we add in this kind of, that smaller sound, so then these two will work together and create this atmosphere. I think it's possible, and we might actually have something here. I've also managed to find the clicks. I put it on this track. So if we put this with it as well, I think we can make this work, and we can create something really interesting with this. I am going to have a task. And this is where you come in. So for this project, I would like you to pick which one we're going to attempt to create. And I think it is going to be between 5 AM or Stale Cupcakes. But what I'd also like is if you had any sound effects, or if there's anything that you would like me to try and put in it, you send that across too. We're not expecting to create music of the likes of Beethoven, Mozart and all that jazz. It's all in a bit of fun. But I think it could be something really interesting we managed to create. So thank you for watching this video on the Crossing Board channel. We make a few videos throughout the week, so check it out. And I will see you with our finished piece next week.